And a good morning to almost afternoon to you lovely folks out there. How are you doing? Friends, families, and them hidden lovers. So today we got a fun video. First and foremost, an incredibly large shout out to Tiny Loganville via Instagram. The gentleman or gentlewoman is amazing. Thank you so very much.
So as you can all see right here, I got a package.
Isaac sent me his link of when he was installing his diesel heater. So I'm gonna watch that and try to learn through the video what I'm doing. But today we are installing a diesel heater. Yes! And again, major shout out to Tiny Loganville for purchasing this item for me. It is incredibly helpful. Winter is now rolling around. It is getting colder night per night, and now I have a guaranteed way to heat me up at any time I need. So again, thank you so very much. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into it today. Let's get the unboxing done. Whee! Diesel heater. Yeah. And the last set of items. Whoa, yeah. Okay, nothing fell out the box. I didn't do anything bad. I'm gonna pop this puppy open. Very carefully, that is. So this is all our tubing box. That's good to know. And our diesel heater. I got it unboxed, it's all pulled out. Now it's time for me to go do my research. I gotta make sure I know how to do this so I don't screw up. But I do have Isaac as a resource in case I need him. But on that note, I'll catch you when installation starts. Watching Isaac's video, I'm slowly but surely learning how to make this work.
So the first thing you're going to want to do is grab your diesel heater. From there, make sure your clamps are in place. That'll hold the diesel heater down and stabilize it to the floor. Next, you're going to want to grab the wires and open them up. Now this bundle of wires is one continuous long wire that connects everything together.
So I unwrapped this, and apparently from the video, this is the fuel inlet, pump inlet, whatever it's called. This is what goes through. I mean, we got it to fit. Just not super sure if this one actually goes through. But we're gonna full send and find out. So I'm putting the heads on, whatever these are called. My lingo is not the best. So I'm putting these on. I'm not going to tighten them just yet. Once I further actually know what I'm doing, then I'll tighten them. I have a spot where I want this to go already. So I need to look underneath the bus.
Now before I look underneath the bus, I need to go ahead and get accurate measurements so that I know how big the hole in the floor that I'm going to have to cut is without over extending, making it too big so the whole diesel heater doesn't fall through.
So in case you didn't see, I was drawing my little markings because I want this to go into the hole, but this sitting on top of it.
Now that we have our measurements, we can cut this piece of wood to said dimensions, so we have the perfect guide to mark on the floor so we know we're creating the right sized hole without it being too big nor too small for the diesel heater to fit into.
So we got our piece of wood cut, our outline, if you would. This needed to be 2 3/4 wide. Perfect, 2 3/4. And this one needed to be 4 1/4. Awesome. So now we have our template. We're gonna go ahead and lay that down, mark where it's gonna go inside the bus.
All right, so now that we have our markings, I'm gonna go ahead and drill through the bottom, and I'm gonna take a look to see where these holes will land so I can make sure that there's nothing gonna be in the way once I'm installing the stuff underneath. Awesome! Slowly but surely, friends and amigos, slowly but surely. So we're gonna go ahead and drill on through right at the corners.
All right, now that I got my dimensions done, everything down here is all good. We got our little wire through Isaac's video that says we need to do it. So right now I'm in the process of just tightening these up. As you can see, X marks the spot. So I got a bigger drill bit. This is going to take out more of a hole because I plan to use this to cut that tiny little square out. So let's make it happen.
So as you can see here, we are taking our air intake hose and we are getting it set up before we get it into our hole in the bus. We're going to go ahead and take our clamp and clamp it down and get it nice and tight so it doesn't come off. The reason why we are doing this now is it is so much easier to do while it's flat on the table instead of while underneath the bus without a lot of easy exposure to the pieces. This is our air filter, and what we want to do now that our air intake hose is securely strapped down, we want to now do the same thing to our air filter, and we want to go ahead and tighten this clamp here to make sure that it will not come off. Now that we have our air filter nice, secure, and strapped down, it is time to move on to the next step. So what we are grabbing here is our exhaust pipe that we straightened out earlier. So we're just going to go ahead and put that right on and get it strapped down with another clamp.
All right guys, so with the diesel heater, right here, this is your exhaust. The exhaust is supposed to go inside this pipe, but when I first got it, it wasn't going. I just could not get the pipe in there. So the little trick I just found out is when you're getting it, just roll it around in circles. If you can see, there's a little bit of a lip, so I stretched out just the opening by rolling it around. Now the pipe fits in there, so I can put it in no problem. So you just gotta like roll it as you see something like that, because it's not gonna go in if it's just too tight. So if you roll the opening open, bam. It's gonna take a little bit and it is a fight, but just wanted to give that little tip to hopefully make this 1,000 times easier to anyone who sees this video.
So we are gonna go in through the bottom. Alrighty, our hole is made. So that's awesome. Now what I got to do is I got to get this through from the inside so it stands up and pulls out. So I'm gonna go hunt for some wire I can use to do this. Ooh, it's fighting. I might need a thinner wire. I really didn't want to have to go search for more wire. Well, I at least know general size is just thinner than that. All right, I got thinner wire this time. Let's see, will that do the trick? It does the trick. Awesome. All right, the fourth time is the charm. I kept messing up. The hole I was making was not big enough, unfortunately, but I finally found the right hole. Perfect. I have the rubber washer inside, so the hole is just perfect to allow everything to work well. I'm gonna tighten it this way. Got our rubber washer, got our little thing that we're gonna go on, and put that on first again. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Now we're gonna have to figure out a way to tighten this, which I got these tools. Oh yeah, that's on real nice and tight, and the rubber seal really sealing it well. Got a little scraped up, but we had to hold it down one way or another, but there's no actual problems with that. All right, friends and amigos, we got our diesel container hooked up. This was difficult. This took so much more time than it needed to. OMG. As you can see, it's on. I'm trying to pull, it's secure. So it's gonna hold. But man, I did not have fun with that at all. It took me such an unnecessary amount of time. I failed a couple times before I finally succeeded. All right, friends and amigos, we're taking the fuel line and we're gonna go ahead and put it on first. We got our little clamp. So by clamping it, our little finger clamp, so once it's on, we'll clamp it down so it holds tight. It just barely fits this, and once it goes on here and fattens up, the clamp is gonna hold it on nice and even. Now we're doing it this way just because when I'm underneath the bus, I don't wanna be working on this. I can drill up and pull the tubing through to make it to the pump. I do not wanna have to be on my back working on this, struggling. So we're gonna go ahead and do it this way instead. Of course, when you're putting on the fuel line, I feel like it's always best to go all the way to the very end, just so you're very safe and secure, and no potentiality of problems. Get that down. So now we got the thing tight. We got it little finger clamped tight, and now we're gonna go drop it real quick. So I've brought it in here. I'm going to set the wires off to the side. So we've got to make sure everything's straight so it can go through the hole. I think the first thing I'm going to put down there is going to be our tubing. Fits right in like a glove. These have to be a little straighter. So this goes down there as well. So this is the tubing that stays up.
everything that needs to go is fitting through. Perfect. The hole was big enough. Everything worked out the way I wanted it to. This is very nice. So before we do anything, I'm going to go ahead and securely put that down.
So what we're doing at the current moment is creating the hole that the diesel heater will be outputting the heat to.
Apologies guys, I forgot to record this. So I've got my little exhaust pipe. It goes from the diesel up into right here, which is exhausting out right there. Guys, so the next step out of all this is we're going to go ahead and get the exhaust hooked up. We're not installing it yet, but we're getting it to where it's ready to be installed. We got our little bracket piece that came with the package.
Under the bus, as we see here, we have our muffler/exhaust port successfully connected. The next step that we want to do is take our exhaust line and connect it, clamp it down, and make sure it's secured to our muffler/exhaust port. Now, a thing to take note of that is very important, the exhaust line, you want to make sure that it is straight or smooth edged as possible. You do not want to allow any type of moisture to be able to get trapped in your exhaust line. So as you'll see here in a moment, I will try to straighten it out the best that I can.
This needs to be at a 45-degree angle, I'm told. Well, there is nowhere underneath the bus. There's absolutely nowhere I can get this to be 45-degree angle. So my little jank thing that I did was I took a little zip tie. I took a zip tie, a screw in. As you can see, I took a screw, metal to metal screw, put it in, the zip tie around the pump to keep it at that 45-degree angle. That's the best I could do. I had Isaac come look at it. He started laughing at me. So, other than that, guys, it works apparently. Isaac said just full send. So, we're gonna hope for the best. There'll be more coming.
We finally are done with underneath right now. As you can see, all that's connected. We got our hose, our little gas line connected into the actual diesel heater, and that's running to our pump right here, which is awesome. Our pump is running from the inside into the pump. So now we got to work on the inside, getting everything else set up.
So I'm not entirely sure what to call this, but labeling it our fuel filter right here, you want to set this up in a very peculiar manner. You want to have the diesel going around the metal cap on the inside.
So I've done this by myself, most of it. I had Isaac do a run over. If I had any questions that I couldn't figure out, I did go ask Isaac. It has been an all-day thing, and I just finished with everything besides wiring. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do my wiring.
All right, friends and amigos, this is a test. So I just wired this by myself, and as we can see, we have power. My only concern is I've never wired anything by myself and Isaac's asleep. So we're going to try to start this up and hopefully nothing catches fire. Well, here's the moment of truth. Okay, so it's not starting because there's no diesel in it, which is awesome. So I'm gonna go get some diesel right quick.
We're gonna go get diesel. I'm excited for this. I wanna make sure this works. I've been going at it all day, so we're gonna make sure it works.
All right, friends and amigos, it's past midnight. Now I went ahead and went off to the gas station, topped off the diesel. So we're gonna turn this on and actually see if this works. It doesn't. I screwed up somewhere. That's not good. Well, it's too late to do anything about it now, so I'll have to get with Isaac about it tomorrow. Well, I will see you then.
So what the problem ended up turning out to be is I finished everything last night and I forgot to just connect the power to the little pump to get the diesel going to the heater.
All right, friends. I am absolutely stoked. I got it at setting 6. Its heat is coming out.
OMG, guys. This is incredible. So I finished up the diesel heater. It is working now. It is spitting out that heat. So I am very excited. If you remember earlier in the video, Isaac was not willing to help at all. He's like, you gotta figure it out. And again, just like I said earlier, totally understandable. The best thing about it is I did figure it out. I have that diesel heater up and running right now. No issues. It took about 20 minutes to get the diesel flowing through the line, so that was a little weird. But it's up and running, friends. So I'm just gonna leave it running for about an hour. Really let that diesel run its course so it's always full and it's not gonna do that weird little ticking noise. Just FYI, I didn't get on camera because I misplaced the camera for a little bit, but when the pump is activating, it goes tick, 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 tick. So if you are installing a diesel heater and you hear that ticking, make sure it is the actual pump before you write it off. But if it's the pump, that's just the pump working, trying to pull that diesel into the pump to shoot it up to the heater. But make sure it's the pump. If you hear ticking normally, make sure where it's coming from so nothing breaks or catches on fire or gets damaged, of course. But I want to thank each and every single one of you. I hope that you have a wonderful breakfast, lunch, dinner, dunch, evening, midnight snack, day, morning, night, afternoon, midnight. All that good get jiggy with the jazz. Whatever it is, guys, I hope that you make it the absolute best that you can. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.